alright. Different armor set. About time.
Woohoo.
You know what? I don't like you guys, so I'm just gonna sit right here.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Wait, get away! Freaking no!
What are you at? What are you, antisocial all of a sudden?
No, this is me in high school. Would you get in the corner?
Oh, where everyone is socially awkward.
Wait, why are you going up there? That's VIP lounge. No.
I didn't see a VIP sign. What are you talking about?
No, that's for special people. What are you doing up there?
Well, it's a table we never eat at anyway, so whatever. Quit stomping at my...
I'm mad! You can tell I'm mad. That's my
Sure,
special
how dare
table.
you eat at a table?
I'm never inviting you to my guest house again. Whatever.
We only went there once, and then the food sucked.
Oh yeah? I wasn't the one that made it. Stupid cats can't even do shit right. Okay, so... Barroth. He has two weaknesses. I'm gonna use one of them. And it's, water. And I'll explain in a bit. And the talisman I chose is, the mud and snow one. Which is very useful for this monster for particular reasons. And
Yeah.
the thing about this armor set, anytime I use this armor set, I like changing the color to represent the monster we're gonna fight. So I chose shit brown.
So you like color coordinating?
Yeah. That's why Giganox gets like purple or something.
Yeah, I'm using a water switch axe, which is also one of the weaknesses for it.
Well, I mentioned that it has two weaknesses. The water is used to get mud off of him, which acts as kind of a barrier. But when when there's no mud on him, fire is his weakest. But Angel just died.
It actually has a slight weakness to ice, regardless of whether it has the armor on or off. But yeah, it's stronger to go either water or fire.
I just hope Angel being drunk doesn't affect this quest.
Or getting food poisoning, for that matter.
I'm surprised how fast he recovered from that.
Yeah, but now we're in the... Yeah, you can start out in the desert, which, depending on what time it is, you'll either need cold or hot drinks to avoid the effects. But
yeah,
Barroth stays in the temperate areas. And yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
There's a carrying egg subquest, and I just decided to do this subquest as well.
Yeah, you heard what I did on the video, right?
Yes, it's our little song for when we're carrying eggs. But yeah, I decided to be the delivery boy again. Oh look, there he is.
Yep. He spots you, but I'm not sure why I didn't do a full charge there.
Yeah, he usually starts out in the muddy area, but he can burrow underground and pop up in this area too.
Notable thing about this monster, this is the first monster you fight where his roars actually do something to you. That's why I blocked.
It'll stun you because they're really loud. But you can still block them because that's how sound works.
Now, when Barroth does like that attack where he just gets mud off of him, that's why I brought the mud and snow one, because if you get hit by that, you'll be covered in mud and you can't do anything until you break free or use a cleanser. The talisman I have negates that, so I get water blighted instead.
Yeah, or you can have your teammates hit you to get out of that state. You can also press, like, at least on the classic controller, the A button rapidly to break it out faster. And yeah, he charges a lot, this guy.
You might also notice that I'm shooting water shots at him this time. Sometimes I'll switch to fire when there's no mud, and that's assuming I don't have a sleep and paralyzed already on him.
Well, yeah, the water's just used to get rid off the mud, and then you just can use fire when he's not muddy, basically.
Yeah, I went into this with a fire weapon since Unreal and Unreal had the water weapon and Angel was going to be using water shots for at least the first part of it.
I also had my water switch axe, which is actually probably one of my most powerful switch axes.
You know,
Demon Vine.
Looking back at this fight, I'm surprised he didn't get me killed there. I kind of did not want to bring this water weapon, because it is a stronger water greatsword. I had another one and I almost forgot about it. I ended up using it against a later monster, and I just wish it was like the other way around, where I used this on a later monster and my Ludroth one against this. But, whatever.
Whatever. At this point, we're like really powerful anyway, so it doesn't make a huge difference, I imagine.
Mm.
Especially since both your water greatswords are fully upgraded and such.
Yeah, but this one has way more water damage than the other one.
Well, all the better to get its mud off faster.
Which is kind of why I wanted to use the other one, honestly.
Oh, so with the Barroth, there are two breakables with him: his tail, obviously, and his head. His head you can only really break off if you use a hammer. So.
Oh, you can break it off with other weapons. It's just that you'll keep bouncing off, and it's not effective at all.
Yeah, you need like a blunt weapon, like a hammer, to do damage, which can also stun certain monsters like that too. And he's asleep.
He's down.
And a slight amendment to that, actually, there's 3 breakable parts on this. There's the tail, the head, and then it's not as noticeable, but you can also break the claws.
Oh yeah,
which is why those have armor on them too.
Now,
right.
I'm gonna charge the head, because since I have a high enough sharpness, I will not bounce off it. It won't do shit, but except get the mud
and
off.
I'll just
but that's just something
charge shot it.
I think if you have, I may be wrong, maybe blue sharpness cuts through. Green or lower will just bounce right off.
Yeah, most stuff will just bounce off of it.
And this weapon has white sharpness, with sharpness +1 at least. And
yeah, as you can tell with the tail off there.
It may not just be me, but I believe a lot of players that first played this game, as in they haven't played Monster Hunter before like us, this may have been a tough fight, because at least when starting out, because up to this point all the other monsters were manageable. This one was aggressive and did a lot of damage when you were starting out. This is more like we're not fucking around anymore, here's your game. It only just got increasingly harder from there.
Yeah, the main thing you just have to worry about with him is that he'll charge a lot, especially when he's in rage mode there. You can tell by the steam shooting out of his head that he's enraged, and he'll charge a lot. So you basically just have to avoid him, and then maybe attack him, and then avoid him again. That's really all you can really do against him.
There's not a whole lot of variety to his attacks, because he primarily just charges after you and or shakes off mud at you if he still has mud on him. And it kind of becomes a war of attrition if you're really early on or you're just not familiar with the boss, where you can just kind of wait until it gets tired, because then it starts to slow down a lot.
Like this, he's tired right now.
Yeah, monsters will eventually get tired and exhausted. Of course, they can regain their energy if they get food.
Which is what he's doing right now.
Eating at the bug hills.
Yeah, the Barroths eat Altaroths in particular. It just destroyed its farm, I guess you call it, and was trying to eat, but we stopped it.
Speaking of getting tired, you might have noticed from the greenish color kind of streams from the bullet impacts. That was me using exhaust shots, which helped drain its stamina.
Yeah, the gunners have a lot of status effect shots you can do.
Yeah. Now, before I go on any hunts, I always bring different bow gun combinations to use different bullet types, mainly. Like damage and everything, I do take that into account, but I mainly focus on bullet type.
Okay, that was weird. I legged flew in the air.
The very tip of my sword, I think, hit you.
This is the most annoying place to fight him, because he will do what he just did, which is regain his armor, and then you have to knock it off again.
But, I'm not sure, I may be wrong with this, but it's still easier to get off, after he gets it off.
because he just put it back on. But it's still annoying that it'll just cover itself in the armor again.
Yeah, because especially in the case of the tail and at least the head, I have no idea what happened there.
I think he got stuck there for a second.
He just didn't feel like attacking today. But if the mud is still on there, you can't say cut the tail off or break the head until the mud is off. You can't like say that the mud's still on him and you think the tail's almost ready to come off and he goes and gets the armor back on. You got to get it off again or else it won't cut.
Yeah, because the mud is basically armor. You just gotta get off first.
If anything, I think we said the extent of this boss, really. I mean, health-wise, it takes a bit, but of course there are obviously stronger monsters than this, but for starting out, this was a pretty
this will be the first, like, I guess, real challenging monster, really.
I have no idea how I did not get hit.
Those invincibility frames, I guess.
Let's see. I'm pretty sure I was using cluster shots against him just now.
Yeah, and you're almost dead too.
It's kind of like Craig shots, which you might see later in the series, where the first bullet that impacts is explosive, but unlike the Craig, the cluster bombs will, as it implies, lay a cluster of bombs around the area of impact.
Now, if you see the SCR is covered in mud and he just broke out.
Yeah, I think I just broke him out of the mud there.
Yeah.
Something else I've been doing is my weapon isn't sharp enough to cut through the head. But what I have been doing is using the spirit combo that the longsword uses, because regardless of your weapon sharpness, so long as you're using the attacks from that combo, it doesn't matter if your weapon's going to bounce, you'll still be able to do all your slashes for that.
Does it do less effect, though? Because
it's not as effective, but your weapon won't bounce.
If there's one thing I tend to do on this boss, if there's like any environmental stuff and he tries to charge, I like hide behind it if I want to heal. Because he'll probably get usually stuck.
Yeah.
Unless it's one of the few breakable
That's not
parts.
smart either.
Yeah. I don't think that log was breakable.
No, it's not.
Is the tree breakable here? I forget.
I don't think so, no.
I think the only breakable parts are in that one area with the...
Yeah, the rocks were breakable.
There's the rocks in that area. There's also those two pillars in the adjacent area.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to reference.
He almost never goes there, though.
You can also break the wall if you get in there.
Oh, you mean the one you could climb up?
Mm-hmm.
Just realized I ran out of ammo, so I had to reload right there.
Doesn't matter.
Well, he's dead, so...
Yeah, that little animation I did where it's like, I'm just shaking my gun.
And you just sat there, confused.
Basically.
My gun no work.
The gun needs juice.
Now, I'm not sure where I went off to after that. I think I just went to mine.
Yeah, mine when there's only like 5 seconds left.
Oh, right. We forgot about the tail.
Get the tail. The headpiece that breaks off is also carvable too, I believe, right?
Yes. But, of course, we didn't get it off.
Well, whatever. None of us were really hammer users, so...
Yay.
This part.
You son of a... Every time, I swear.
Oh, little jaggies.
It's still not the apt enough pushing me in the freaking cutscene.
It's okay, their brains are the size of an avocado.
But I don't like avocado.
That's a lot of carcasses.
I would have a Jaggy as a pet.
I'm sorry.
It'd be like having a raptor as a pet.
Hey, you could probably train them into not wanting to eat people.
Bullshit.